Here we go. Hello, everyone. Like I said, I was gonna do a podcast today, and by God, I'm doing one. So, I had one a couple days ago, which was fun but chaotic. It was kind of made last minute, but I'm glad we did it. It was a very fun one, if be it very, like I said, very chaotic and all over the place. But it was a good time. But yeah, no, but I was gonna do a podcast today kind of thing anyway, just because easier to get back into streaming when you haven't streamed for a bit of time. Anyway, so it's like just a little settling back in thing. So now I get one but two streams this week. So lucky you guys there. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully let's see, with everything going on right now in the world. Next weekend I'll probably be playing Crash. That way, so there be that. So yeah, that's I think the initial plan. So anyway, there's that. So I'm gonna start up with the updates, and then we'll just go into like these other chatting things I want to talk about, like maybe some points I missed via last stream, or something about some of the Spider-Man topics I just want to quickly share here, or other things. I have other topics I kind of want to mention. I just been thinking a lot about other things. So first of all, so yeah, update wise. So I pretty much have a much more better scheduling out of what I want to do this year. So I'm gonna pretty much break it down. First of all, like I said, we'll start with stream since that's what we are doing right now. So first, so pretty much when it comes to streaming wise, obviously I'll finish Crash. I think it's probably gonna be like mostly like obviously at the end of this month, since that's gonna be the when I start it again. Through February. I think I should finish it in February. There's no excuse for me not to finish it in February. Crash for some reason. I don't know why I wouldn't be able to finish Crash, but I should be able to finish in February without too much issue. Next, I think concept-wise, like in March, most likely, I don't know when in March, but sometime in March, probably either beginning or so in March, I am going to be doing Last of Us. I decided that was going to be the stream I'm going to be doing. At least for like the main storyline, like big old game type of thing, I'm gonna do Last of Us, part 1, I should say, specifically. I don't know if I'll ever touch part 2, just because of the controversy of it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear people who could be like, what do you think? What's your blah, blah, blah? I don't know. We'll see. We'll get there when we get there. If I decide I want to do it, I'll do it. But at least I want to play the first game. So, like I said, I didn't want a shot for that, like, a couple of years ago. I think 2 years ago now. I think that was, I think, 2 years ago. I could be wrong, but I didn't want to try it for that, and I liked it, and I thought, okay, this might be better for a stream format, so that is what is going to be happening, is that I am going to do that for however long it takes. I don't know how long that's going to take. Probably majority of spring to summer, I'd imagine. While I am doing that, the other side game I'm doing, which I got recently, was Goodbye Volcano High. I thought that would be a kind of good one, kind of thing, since I've already done a lot of Life is Strange stuff, but like it's a good story game. So again, I've not really played it before, so it'll be my first time playing it. So I think that'd be good in between while I'm doing that, just something kind of different that way, playing something with zombies and shooting and all that, and then another one game that's just story based and that way. So simpler gameplay, probably shorter that way. So yeah, that's gonna be at least beginning of the year, to spring-ish, I guess, because that's probably when I'm gonna be starting Last of Us and that, and going probably to somewhere in the summer, I imagine, at least for Last of Us. I don't know how long Volcano High will be, probably not too long, terribly, so there'll be that probably until like late spring, probably, that will go to. But yeah, so that's that for at least beginning of the year for streaming. I don't know afterwards, that way. If you have any Halloween suggestions, let me know, because I always get them around close to Halloween, and I'm like, yes, because I don't play horror games, what to do, kind of thing. So, assuming that Last of Us doesn't take terribly long to that point, because at that point I might as well just say that's Halloween, because, zombies and all that. But, if I do finish before then, let me know, because I'll probably start playing it during the fall. If it's like a longer game, of course it's short that way, but just let me know. I'm curious, because I'm curious that way. There's a ton of games out there, and I just would like to know, just in general. So there's that. But yeah, so that's that for the streaming for right now, at least beginning of the year to like the summer and all that. So yeah, that's there. There's that. Video wise, why am I sound so congested? I feel like I'm congested a little bit. Hold on, give me one moment. Sorry, I made horrible noises and I did not want it caught on camera. Not camera, on the mic. So, excuse me. Anyway, so yeah, so when it comes to video stuff, like when I'm doing video wise, for right now, at least I have an ideas for Let's Plays, at least that way. So for example, I've already mentioned this, but Marvel Nemesis is going to be the first Let's Play that's going to come out, hopefully sometime in February. I have no clue when. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, but sometime in February, I guarantee you that there will be Marvel Nemesis Rise to the Perfect series coming out. So there's that. So I only say that. I don't know when in February. I don't have the clearest idea yet when I want to start posting it, but sometime in February. So look out for it. That way. Next game after that, I think I'm gonna finally do Sims 2. For the PlayStation 2, I should say. Specifically, it's not the PC version. That's what makes it interesting. I'm gonna do that specifically next. I don't know when that's gonna be out or ready or whatever, but that's gonna be like, that's at least on my agenda. My other thing that's gonna be on my agenda that was originally a stream series, but now I'm turning into a video series, is Cuphead. I said I was gonna finish Cuphead. I'm gonna do it this year. That I'm thinking about that being like a window release sometime in the summer, at least. I have that kind of at least in my head where I want that to be at. So like I think it's sometime in the summer I will have that series be coming out. Like I said, I don't know when, probably middle to late summer is my guess. I'm probably going to be filming it sometime like early-ish summer, and probably will come out like late summer. So that's the theory. That's the idea there. I have one more idea for upload-wise. I still haven't really pinned down what I wanted it to be. It's either like one of two things. Either it's going to be Tekken Tag Tournament 1, which I know you're saying, why not play Tekken 8? Tekken 8's literally coming out in like not even a couple days at this point. You know, why don't you play that? To that I say, I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I want that for myself, maybe not. Who knows? I don't even know if I'll even touch that yet. You know, immediately. I'm sure I will play it at some point. I want to play Tekken 8. But I don't know. I think I like to go back to older games on my channel. But maybe I'll play Tekken 8. Maybe. I do need to do Tekken 7 storylines, so maybe that's my excuse for why. I need to play old Tekken games, technically. But also because Tekken Tag is just much more easier right now. And kind of just simpler of a game. It's not, like, too serious. A lot of the storyline stuff is not canon purposely. And it's decently easy enough of a game, but not too hard. And has a big enough roster where it's not too harsh to do all, like, the story modes and all that. And yada, yada, yada. I don't know. Then again, I'm not pinpointing on that yet, or another Marvel game I'm debating on, which is one that like was a TV show originally, and I've mentioned in a video prior, which is Superhero Squad. I have the old Superhero Squad game, and I kind of want to play it again just to see what it's like, just to see if it's aged good or not. I used to play that game like constantly as a kid, and I mean like constantly. So I'm purely curious if that game holds up well enough, or if it's meh, you know? I don't know. It could be very, very meh, but it's kind of one on my radar at some point. I will play in the future. I just don't know if it's going to be this year or, excuse me, whatnot. But, yeah, my goal is like 4 different, like, Let's Play series this year. I have a video idea in my mind, but it's going to take quite a while to do. It involves watching a movie. 2 movies, actually. They're not long movies, but decently, you know, kind of a feature-length film, as it were. Let's just say it's a feature-length films, that way. So, you know, but they both relate to one another. They're both like in the same franchise type of thing. But that's kind of my idea. That's what I want to do. I'm not saying everything completely yet for that one because I have not even started it yet. I only just literally thought of the idea recently, just because I saw something about it again, and I was like, oh, that'd be interesting. It is sort of obscure, but not obscure. The thing itself is not obscure, but the thing I'm going to be covering is obscure itself, if that makes any sense, essentially. If I ever do it, you'll see what I mean, but it's an idea in my mind. It's like a look-back series, like my other thing, like me looking back at the game of life and the Hanukkah Tales and Tunes. It's in that vein essentially is what I want to do. So, like I said, don't know when that will be at all. Like I said, I only just thought of the idea recently, so don't get your hope up if it comes out or not. Even if even this year, at all. I don't know. Like I said, I just thought about it, but we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much at least kind of like my idea for the year, at least when it comes to content. I want to can be consistent with streaming, but I also kind of want to be consistent with uploading again, because I didn't do a lot of uploading last year, only just because I wanted to experiment a bit, and I'm still wanting to experiment, but I kind of want to go back to Let's Playing a little bit, just because I want to be a little more consistent on the channel, because I do feel bad for you guys, because while streaming is good, sometimes I don't stream, and sometimes there's no content, and for long periods of times because of that, so trying to balance that out, but also not make myself be burnt out completely. So yeah, we'll see. I'm trying to balance everything out right now. I'm trying to do my best. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's kind of it for like my update things. I probably will refresh you guys' brains a little bit by the end again, just kind of make it more kind of shorten a bit that way. But for the most part, yeah, that's kind of it. That's my update. That's my ideas for this year, at least that way when it comes to content. So obviously things are subject to change always, so there's that. I do want to put that down, as a wrestling person would say. Yes, things are subject to change. The card will change sometimes, my ideas may just get shot, or I may have to push things back, or sometimes things get earlier because of other reasons. But yeah, so that's most part of the idea. So that's what I got for you all right now. So another thing I wanted to do while I said this video is that, like, since it was very chaotic, the last stream about the Spider-Man stuff, I just wanted to point out stuff that I did not get a chance to talk about. That way, just because, again, all over the place. We were pretty consistently talking about the story and some of the gameplay aspect, but not completely 100% either. I kind of want to more go about gameplay itself, just directly gameplay. Wise, we kind of talked more about the story and it being more direct to the comics. And we talked about a tiny bit of gameplay, but not a lot. So I kind of want to go about talking about gameplay a little bit more here, just because I want to. So yeah, there is that. So, actually, I should change to my Spider-Man mask. I made the Spider-Man mask thing. That was kind of, it was not really last minute. But yeah, there's me. There's two of me. I can do the pointing arrow thing. Let me move that. Oh, hold on. Let me put that in front of me and let me see if I can, like, make it not look too weird. I need to make myself a little bigger. Just put it in front that way. I look a little bulkier, but that's okay. That's fine. Anyway, we're doing Spider-Man topics, so we get to put the Spider-Man mask on. Because dang it, I took at least like a half hour, an hour to make this. So screw you guys. It's here. I'm having it here. I'm wearing it. You guys get to see me wear it again. So yeah. Anyway, so for gameplay wise, I wanted to talk about some aspects of the gameplay. So there's just some things that are just so interesting to me and just so, like, cool about the game, but also some stuff that kind of frustrated me about it, because I was like, So I think we can start off with the good parts of it, because I don't want to be I don't want to be a negative Nancy, because it's like, we talked about the good stuff about the game, but, like, we also talk about the issues we had, so I think it's a good thing to start with the good. I think that way it doesn't make it seem like I hate this game, because I don't hate this game! I don't hate this game. I like this game a lot, but it's flawed, and that's, I think everything in life is flawed, but, it's flawed that way. But, yeah, so one of the things I want to talk about that was so interesting to me is the gliding in the game, because the gliding was so interesting to me. Like, I know there's, like, gliding sort of in the comics, but, like, it's not, like, I don't know, like, I've never seen anyone try taking it to, like, the video game screen, or even, like, the movie screen, really. Like, it just, like, maybe there was some, maybe, aspect of it being used in movies at some point, and I just can't remember on top of my head. But video games, I can guarantee I've never seen it before, so it's really weird just to, like, all of a sudden have, like, a gliding mechanic in, like, a Spider-Man game, when for many a years I played, the Arkham series, Batman Arkham series, and used to gliding to the city that way, that it was just so kind of weird. It took me a while to kind of be like, to not feel like I'm cheating on web swinging, because I almost felt like I was cheating on web swinging with the gliding mechanic, because the gliding mechanic's really good. It's a little clunky at first, only because they had, I think, a bit of inverted controls to it, and I think that's kind of the problem with me. I'm not a fan of inverted controls. Up is down, down is up kind of thing, so kind of weird. So, but like, and I probably could have changed it, I just didn't bother to. I didn't want to look at the settings just to do it, because there's a lot of settings. My god, there's a lot of settings nowadays. I can't tell if it's a good thing or bad thing. I mean, it's good that there's like accessibility, but also, oh my god, could we make it a little less chaotic? I don't know, just put it in spots that are like easier. Like, make it where like you notice. I mean, I don't know, this could just be update thing. Maybe next there's a new update, maybe they can do this, but note it, like, go to like just like look at the settings that people like go to the most and have it like at a like area where that way, you know, people who are looking for something specific like that like can change the controls easily without having to dig through all the settings. But for the most part, I like gliding. It's a good, I think it's a good mechanic once you upgrade it completely, or at least start upgrading it, because at first it's a little awkward, but then I think once you like use it for a while and upgrade it to be better, it's like, it's a fantastic thing for the game. It makes, like, honestly, like, this game, like, I rarely fast traveled. The only time I fast traveled was like very end of the game, but I think because I was like wanting to get to the end, you know, kind of thing, and I wanted to get to the story quicker that way. But like, for the most part, like, I did not fast travel a lot, only because you have to unlock fast travel in this game, which, I mean, that's for every game. But interesting way they did it too. You had to go via by district. It wasn't like one of those yeah, you had to do one mission and unlock all fast travel. You have to like go to each area, do certain missions within each district and area in order to unlock rewards to like get like upgrades, abilities, or again, unlock fast travel that way. Which it isn't too hard to unlock fast travel in this game. Like, you can probably do it within like the first like couple hours of the game. You can pretty much, I think, unlock fast travel for like most majority of the districts, maybe for exception of a few. That way, just because of storyline restraints and stuff like that when things come up. But like, for the most part, you're able to kind of get it quickly if you do a lot of the Jesus Christ, I just blanked out what I was gonna say. When you do a lot of the criminal, you know, stopping criminal heists and stuff like that kind of thing, you know, you can get it quite quickly that way. So like, I'm cool with that. I actually did not hate that aspect. I think it kind of made it like a system of reward to make you purposely feel like you're doing something throughout the city. It makes you feel like you're earning something. I like a lot of the storylines that way. It's like the gameplay itself is fine. Everything like pretty much from the other games have kept through. The only like issue I have with the gameplay is that like a lot of the gadgets in this game are quite lacking. I kind of noticed in Miles Morales as well, but like it wasn't as bad. But now here it's like a lot of the gadgets are not exactly great. I miss a lot of the gadget from the first game. For example, like the web bombs. My god, why did we get rid of the web bombs? Those were like fantastic and great and useful. Or the like web impact thing, I forgot what you call them, but pretty much where you like shot one down and then if someone walked over it, they would cling to a wall, cling to the ground or something. Which was in Miles Morales. They did keep that one, but for some reason they got rid of it. Like, they got rid of like the really good ones in the game. I mean, I get the electric one makes no sense because you have Miles, but like they could have, I don't know, made it more for like Peter. I don't know. I guess he had his own electric based attack though with the arms that way, the middle arms. But yeah, just very lacking. The only one that makes sense though, but only like way later down the line, was the Sonic blast. You know, the concussion blast becomes the Sonic blast type of thing where they fix the symbiotes. But yeah, other than that, like, well, actually they did have the electric ones. Never mind, I do remember they do have the electric ones. I lied. They did keep the ones, but I don't know. Just they were kind of just. I don't know. Like, I feel like they were lacking. I feel like they were not really great. To be fair, I don't want to have to do screwball missions again, and I can be thankful that the last two games we have not had to deal with screwball missions. So, like, you know, I am very thankful for that. Thank you, God. Or, I guess not. Thank you, Insomniac, I guess, for that. But there are still some issues. Mary Jane missions, the MJ missions. Why did you bring those back? Why did you bring those back? The only one was like that last one at the end, but only because it had a very horror aspect. But otherwise, it just like, look, just because you gave her a taser that she can shoot people with that way doesn't. Oh, I just hit the mic. Oops, sorry. Doesn't really make it any better. Like, it's just, it's please. Look, I don't hate MJ, and I want to make this clear as day, because I know a lot of people will trash MJ, and it's just because, like, she can be written well, and she is written well in this game. I love MJ in this game. She's great and well written as a character, but my god, I don't want the gameplay mechanic for her. If you're gonna do it, fix every aspect of it that's not, like, janky. I don't like the concept of the damsel in distress but not in distress kind of thing, because it's like, I don't want her to be kidnapped, but I also don't want her to have her in certain situations she doesn't need to be, when you can literally play as Spider-Man and do it easier. I just don't get it. Especially not one but two Spider-Men. You don't need MJ missions. You literally could just say, hey, Miles, I need help. Can you help me with Connors? And you'd be like, I got you, bro. Like, you don't need MJ missions, for the love of God. Again, I want to emphasize this. I don't hate MJ. I don't hate the character. I don't hate the actress, or, via the voice actress, obviously, because she's already gotten hated before, for other roles. Again, remember when I mentioned about Last of Us Part 2? Yeah, that. Laura Bailey. I'm not going after Laura Bailey. She's fantastic and a great voice actress, but I'm also not going after her look like her body double, that way, because, God forbid, you are awful people. Sorry, I'm going on like a whole rant right now. But you super duper fanatic-y people who like judge women by their facial look and everything like that. The same people who literally complained about Aloy from Horizon having facial hair, quote unquote. You're the same people who pretty much shamed this woman who, was the lookalike for like MJ, and pretty much took her out of the acting business completely. You guys are terrible people. God forbid. I hope you people who've done this never have any woman touch you in your life. Okay? No woman would ever, not even any man or something, go near you. No one go near you or touch you. You're disgusting. Anyway, I'm moving on because, God forbid, this is getting like really heated. I'm moving on from that. Overall, again, just please don't wear MJ missions. That's all I ask. But MJ is a lovely woman, and wouldn't written correctly, and she has been written correctly in this game, and she, everything anyway. So, God, anyway. So, other things about this game that I do like, though. Again, we're going back to like kind of back and forth of what I hate, what I like, what I hate, what I like. I'm glad, even with them changing the gadgets, I like a lot of the new abilities in this game. I like Miles' abilities a lot. His I don't want to say upgraded, but his, like, mutated? I forgot what they called it, but, like, his, like, venom power is pretty much getting, like, more advanced. I guess that's a word, advanced. Like, I like his mostly. I don't recall having to change his, really. I didn't, like, hate them. Peter's, his abilities, his are good that way. I kind of prefer the symbiote ones a little bit more that way. The only symbiote one I didn't like was, like, the top triangle one, whatever that one is, where he kind of like engulfs them and then throws them up into the air. Not into that. I prefer the other one where he kind of webs them up, just because it's a much faster maneuver and gets, the villains and all that kind of like webbed up faster. Just in my opinion, but that's just like only one thing I changed. But even then, like, that's just, still good, because it's like it's an either or thing. I like that you can switch between which abilities you like. Because some people have different gameplay styles and preferences that way, so I like that they at least let you change that aspect of things. I'm not, again, I wish the costume thing was a little more, allowing to be changed that way when it comes to the symbiote and all that, because it's a little annoying that they didn't allow you to do that. That just, I don't know. Which is like, they never had it in any of the other games, so why is this one the issue? Other than, like, the first game, we established that with the Doc Ock suit, but it's, like, it was for, like, kind of story reasons, and the suit wasn't bad looking, so, I have a many issue with that, but, like, for the most part, like, yeah, I like that you're able to switch between abilities and which ones you wanted that way. The upgrading system is, like, fine. It's the same as it has been for, the last couple of games. I like the upgrade system. It's simple and not hard to, like, really maneuver or figure out. Like, it's a simple upgrading system, and can we please go back to simple upgrading systems, because God forbid, I can't stand, like, I don't mind the tree system, because they did the tree system in this game, but it's like, it wasn't as chaotic that way. It was very simple and easy to do, but, like, God forbid, can we go back to simple upgrade system, please? I beg. Please, like, just, I don't like the advanced upgrade systems that have been in the last couple of games that I've played, like, recently. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Horizon Forbidden West, but its upgrade system is bad. I'm just gonna straight up, flat out just say it. It's not a good upgrade system. It is very chaotic. The first game had a much better upgrade system. I just like it. I like the simple tree, like, the simple trees on one page. You don't have to maneuver around the whole page. It's just there, and you see all of it. And it's simple. You can read all what it, says, and it shows an example what the, upgrade will do and look like and how you do it. Like, just give me that back. Just give me that back. It's not that hard. It's not that hard at all. It's not that complicated, really. You don't need to make things complicated. We don't need to change things for the sake of changing things, and that's what at least I can appreciate for this game, is that the stuff it does change is good for the most part. Again, I have, like, my qualms with the gadgets and stuff like that, and the MJ mission still being around, but the stuff it does add, like the gliding and the abilities you can do and stuff like that when it comes to fighting, fantastic. Chef kiss, mwah, I love it. Fantastic. It's good. But I am just not a fan of just complicatedness, and that's, not what needed. And I like that they kept things the same way. They didn't change things for the sake of changing things. The gameplay style has been the same, and I know people complain about that, and I get that, but I think I'm glad for it, because it's like, once you start changing too much, it's not the same game, it's not the same series, and it's not necessary. Unnecessary change doesn't help, that way, and that's, where I can like a game a lot, is like when we're not changing things for the necessity of changing things, so, yeah. That's just my take with that. The side missions were good. I liked a lot of the side missions. I feel like the side missions would kind of pulled this game really nicely when the story mode was kind of getting a little odd and awkward. Again, I think the Kraven's Hunters should have been more relevant by the end too. Even if Kraven was dead, they should have, I don't know, been around. Maybe they could have been, like, turning the symbiotes too, but maybe they're, like, extra dangerous symbiotes. Maybe they're more sentient or something because of how, like, strong-willed they are or something. I don't know. I think that could have been interesting of a concept or something. I don't know. Like, it just seemed like that, like, once Kraven died, they were just, like, thrown by the wayside. Like, I don't know. I just think it's a bit annoying to me. It's a gripe I have about that, how quickly rushed things were at the end. That way. But that's just, I guess, I mean, well, it's not just me, some people actually agree with me with that. But, yeah, there was that. But I like a lot of the side missions. I already talked about the Howard mission, how it completely destroyed me. I talked about the Mysteriums a little bit. The Mysteriums were interesting. They were not terribly bad. There was only one that I had, like, a hard time with, but, like, for the most part, all of them were decently easy. Like, they were not too challenging. They were not too harsh. I wish there was a little bit more of those kind of in the game, because while, like, I do have some gripes about them, I think, I do enjoy them a little bit because there's some form of challenge to them, and it just makes it more interesting going through the city that way. But there was, like, some really good, like, storylines and good side, like, storylines that way. The Cultivist thing was so interesting, and, again, a nice little hint of Carnage, hopefully coming, I don't know when, maybe next game, probably, likely, unless, of course, that's a DLC idea they're gonna do, which probably more likely is a DLC idea. I love Yuri being a Wraith now. That kind of makes sense. That's really cool. Which I guess, that was kind of a hint anyway. Yuri, I guess, was always going to become Wraith because that's who she is in the comics. That way, I don't know. There's, like, a couple of things. One gameplay mechanic that I really like a lot, that I just enjoy a lot, is when you're fighting throughout the city and you're stopping, baddies and all that, sometimes you'll, like, see Miles or, Yuri, or even, like, really, like, if you're really, like, sticking around for a little bit of time, like, doing, like, those, maybe to upgrade or something, you'll meet Harry, too, sometimes, in his, Venom outfit, not Venom, his symbiote outfit, I should say specifically, his symbiote outfit, and hanging out, and like you can do little cool interactions with them, with Miles and Peter. Like they'll either like fist bump or do the you thing, the Spidey point meme, or they'll even hug. They'll like hug it out sometimes. It's really cool and just wholesome. I love this Yuri. No matter what you do, you either try fist bumping or high fiving. It's always the awkward, like, yep, okay, just she'll never fist bump you or high five you, and it's hilarious every single time. I think Harry has like the somewhat same thing. I think he might maybe fist bump and like high five. I don't know if he hugs, but I think maybe he might do it with Peter, but I don't know if he does it with Miles. But yeah, it's so cool. That's such a nice little detail to me. I like the small details in this game. It's the small details I think that make it worth keep playing and really makes it enjoyable. Is like the small little details. It's small little things to me that keep me going, And that was like definitely when I first saw that, when I think I was like playing as like Peter and Miles like was like fighting, alongside me. Like one of the things I was like, oh my god, they're doing it. And it really made me happy. In the beginning of the game, you don't see it as much. It's when like kind of things start going, kind of crazy with the hunters and stuff like that, where you see it more often. But it's really cool, and I enjoyed that. And it just makes it seem like a small world after all, kind of thing. Like you're both in New York, you're both gonna be fighting bad guys. It's not crazy to like see them, interact and help each other out, every so often. It's nice. It's a nice little thing. It's a nice touch. But yeah. One more thing I want to go to that way, which I'm saving this idea because, again, I've mentioned it in the past and blah, 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 that I want to do something with this. But, I do want to mention the costumes in the game. I'm not talking about all the costumes, but I'm going to say I'm a bit disappointed, with the costume selection in this game. Too many repeats to me from the last couple of games, which, I don't know, makes me feel a little bit lazy. I know they're gonna have like DLC costumes soon where you're gonna pay for, supposedly, but I just nada for a lot of the costumes. There are some costumes I do like in this game. Like I said, I will keep those to myself. I will keep those to myself. But there was just too many repeat ones that I just wasn't really into that way. Like, there was a couple of new ones I like. There's a lot of new ones I'm not too much of a fan of. That way. But, like I said, I'm disappointed in the costume selection. I wish it was a lot more newer stuff. I just think it's too many repeats. And it's like, even the repeat ones are like, I was not really as into. For saying, like, there were some of the good ones in the first game I wish that they had. Even if they were going to bring back some. But, like, there's that, like, Bombastic Bagman. I will say that I like that costume a lot. I won't say which one from which of the games, but I like that one a lot, and they didn't have it here. And someone made a good point. Like, that was the costume that literally, like, was, like, important because that's what he had to wear after the symbiote was taken off of him and he lost his costume. And it's like, and they had a Fantastic Four reference too. That way, it just would have been perfect. And, like, they should have done it. They should have done it. They should have had the costume. They didn't. And I don't know why. For all the repeat ones, that was the one you decided to skip on. That would have actually made more sense, story-wise. Like, you could have, like, that would have been fun. Like, after, you got the symbiote off of you, I would have put that costume on for a little bit and have a fun time and just silly around and be like, oh, look at me. I got the Bombastic Bagman, costume on. I lost my suit. Ooh. I got the kick me sign on. I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little disappointed. I don't know. Like I said, it was just the costume section that way. Because a lot of too many repeats. A lot of the stuff I wasn't really a big fan of that way. There was, like, a couple I liked, but like I said, there's a couple aspects about it, but I'll go into detail a different day about it. But yeah, I don't know. I was just disappointed by it. I guess that's it. There's that's all. That's all about that. But I think that's about it. Really, what I wanted to mention with Spider-Man at the moment. That was my spiel that way. I still want to talk about some Marvel stuff, but we are done. We will unmask with the Spider-Man mask that way. So excuse me. So yeah, I do want to talk about Echo because that is something that did come out recently. I'm not gonna go too hardcore about it because I think I might save that for like a different day. I don't know. I got like some ideas that way, but like I want to talk about Echo just a little bit, just because it came out recently and it's a thing and it was a time. So overall, my thoughts about Echo that way it was good, but again, rushed. And I know that's what a lot of people are saying. It was quite rushed at the end. It felt very messy by the end, which yeah. It had no reason to have to be rushed by the end. They could have had more episodes. Like seriously, like oh god, I'm really gonna have to go and blast on a lot of things with this. But I like the story overall. I love the story. I love the story so much. I will say one of my complaints, and this might be my fault. This might be a me problem, but let me know if this is not a me problem. Is for some reason with the subtitles, with like the sign language, ASL, thing, I could not read the subtitles for the life of me. I had had to like get really close to the TV just to be able to read it. It's like I don't know if that was something I could have changed, if I could have made it bigger, or if like it was not meant to be that small and they just never bothered to fix it immediately. Or like I don't know, but like the thing is it's like the subtitles, like I've never had issues with subtitles before with Disney that way, like with other Marvel shows, like whenever they had someone speaking a different language, or even in Hawkeye when they did have, sign language segments, like I didn't have an issue. So like I don't know what the issue was. It may have been fixed at this point, but like let me know if you watched it like around the day, around the day it dropped, because yeah, that was not good. Again, I know my eyesight is not great, as you can tell from my character profile icon. I wear glasses, and I do wear glasses. That is the thing. I know I do need new glasses, but like I don't know, like just let me know if it was really hard to see. Like for people who do have good eyesight, or who have at least better eyesight than I do, like even if I do wear glasses, they have like better eyesight than me. Let me know if you struggled too, because yeah, that is a big no-go. That's still an issue. For the love of God, fix that, please. That's annoying. Considering the whole majority of the show is reading, because again, sign language. So, that's not a good. That's not a good at all. Which is that's a big issue that way. But for the most part, like I said, I like the story. I like the concept. I like. There was a lot of things Echo did right. I will say that. There's a lot of things Echo did right, and I think a lot of people like bashing on Marvel right now because it's the thing to do nowadays. But I want to mention, like I said, I mentioned the good because I don't want to seem like I'm a negative Nancy. I'm not a negative Nancy. But there was so much I love about it. The storyline was just really good. I like the storyline concept in general, just that way of, Maya just growing into her own, going back to her roots, literally going back to her roots and finding herself and discovering herself. That way, I like how they're not being afraid of, going Daredevil mode and, having a bit of the brutal aspect of it. That way. I like, representation. I like we're getting a lot more representation recently, especially in the Native American side of things. That's really cool. That way, I think they did an excellent job that way, considering, I mean, again, I'm not really knowledgeable of all of this, but the fact that they got the Cherokee tribe, to help that way, to make sure that everything, was correct and nothing was being, done wrong when it came to their culture and everything. Like, that's really cool. Just overall, again, just representation of deaf people that way. Just a lot of like good stuff that way. There's just a lot of good stuff, but there was a lot of, again, very rushed at the end. The powers, I'm not hating the powers. That way, I think it's cool, but I'm hoping that it's one of those, like, she doesn't use it like often is the point. Like, she doesn't just replace her like martial arts and combat abilities just for that. I think that should just be like if she has to, that way, like, kind of concept. Like, I want them to keep the thing of like concept of like literally like needed most, like they only come when she needs them most, not just channeling them on like constantly kind of thing. It should be one of those like it's only when you need it, most, like you're in really big danger or something like that. Like, that would be kind of more like my style that way, because I think it is cool that she is very, able to just, do all the combat stuff and everything like that. Because, if we're wanting to have her be part of the Daredevil universe and all that, like, I think she can't just have, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having her have superpowers, but, like, having superpowers like that is, like, like, just keep it as, like, one of those, like, if only necessary, things. But, yeah, just very rounded rush at the end. It just felt awkward a bit, it felt like, just, one more episode could have been done to, like, get to the point of where her family was, spoilers, I should say, her family was kidnapped, and, she had to stop Kingpin and all that. Like, they could have had a whole episode where Kingpin was planning the kidnapped, and then at the end of the episode, she could have found out they were kidnapped, and then the final episode could have her been discovering herself completely and all that, blah, blah, blah. But instead, they kind of just rushed it. I don't understand why they rushed it. It just really frustrates me because, okay, I'm gonna go on a complete whole other rant, too. Because I need to. This has been griping me for a while. But, like, it pretty much completely made me upset once this happened. And I want this to be known. And obviously, it's being punished. But it's still, it needs to be more known. My issue, obviously, is that the short episode run thing of only 6 episodes, right? I have an issue about that, and they know it's an issue. They 100% know it's an issue because it's been talked about and complained about. It's why that they're making sure they have, like, enough Daredevil episodes for Born Again. But, literally they said, haha, you guys want more episodes, we're gonna give you one less episode for Echo. And it's like, why? What was it necessary having one less episode? Absolutely not necessary. The show would have benefited from 6 episodes, if not maybe more, obviously. But, like, it would have benefited by having one more episode that can wrap everything up. Why are you wanting things to be so rushed at the end? That's what you prefer as an ending, is like a rushed ending. I'm so tired of it. And dang it, I'm gonna go after She-Hulk because I hate that they gave She-Hulk 9 episodes when it was not necessary. She-Hulk did not need 9 episodes. It was a pure comedy. It would have been fine with the 6, right? And it's not even like, look, there's so much like that frustrates me about She-Hulk because it had so much potential, and it just was like completely, just utterly, just ruined completely. I talked about this with Artistic EDG completely, 100% recently about this, at least a bit of it. But like, it had so much potential to it. It had so much like ways of just making She-Hulk be introduced in the MCU in a good way. Right? But instead they decided, like, I don't even care if it was a comedy, right? Like, fine. Funny, haha. But it's like the Marvel has this issue between not knowing, like, they want to do 2 things, but they don't know how to balance it out completely. Because either they could have had completely had 100% comedy, which would have been fine if it was a complete 100% comedy way, or they could have had it be 100% completely just story-driven based show. There's completely story-based, seriousness, and all that. Instead, like, or even they had, like, the option, they did try doing this, but they did it terribly, or you could have balanced it out. Instead, it just flip-flopped like a switch completely, and it was terribly done that way. God forbid, the whole storyline, like, it sucks because the whole storyline, the whole message of She-Hulk is, like, not terrible either, because the concept should have been clearer, should have been stated, much more clearly without being completely ruined to bits, is that, like, women don't have to be, made, like, or, like, seen as a certain way by men in society. We are our own, beings, and we should be treated as our own, human selves, because we are human. We are no different, and it sucks that men treat us, like tools that way. And, like, that should have been the story. Like, don't let a man tell you what to do. Don't let a man tell you that you are worthless, That was the message, actually. That was what it was trying to tell. What it told instead was that Jennifer, Walters is a big whiny woman who can't, decide, what she wants in her life, is a big and utter mess and can't take care of herself. Like, utterly awful. And it's like, God forbid. Like, it's like, it had a message that, like, would have worked. That could have been done. You know why it could have been done? Because Barbie exists. That's exactly what Barbie did. Was this storyline, but better, and actually did it correctly. With comedy. That's the thing. Barbie is what She-Hulk should have been. kind of thing, right? It had comedy, it was funny, but it had moments where it was serious and it buckled down with that serious. It didn't have like a funny haha moment like 10 seconds after it. It let you sit with the seriousness for a while. It let you sit with it so you could actually get the message through you. Like, that's not what She-Hulk did. You know what She-Hulk is? And I thought about it recently. It's Velma. It is Velma. It is taking a character and trashing it. Like, I can't with this. It's so annoying, and I think She-Hulk would have benefited from, like, the 5-6 episode format because I feel like it would have at least stuck with, like, its story completely at 100%. Like, it could have stuck with the story and still have been comedic. But, like, instead it had way too many episodes and way too much just trash be thrown in to the point where, like, they didn't even know how they wanted to end the series. They had to, like, joke about it being such a bad ending. Like, literally the ending is a joke that it's a bad ending. And it's like, cool, that works only if, you actually wrote it correctly to make it funny, to make you hit, like, a haha, yeah, funny, bad ending, but it's like, no, it was just a bad ending because it was a bad ending. You had no clue what you wanted to do. And thank God this is not getting a season 2. And I know a lot of people are probably going to say I'm being harsh, but I'm not. I'm not being harsh. I'm being honest about it because, God forbid, I hope at some point in time they say that this was like a bad multiverse dream and that like we get reintroduced to She-Hulk in a better light. Like, just say that was a bad multiverse. We don't talk about that multiverse. That universe sucks, kind of thing. Like, we don't talk about that universe kind of thing. Just reintroduce She-Hulk like it never happened, I don't even want Daredevil Born Again. Like, I know they're saying Daredevil Born Again. Supposedly, there's a lot of weird misconceptions what's going on with that. But, like, Daredevil Born Again is before She-Hulk. But honestly, just say She-Hulk never existed. Say that Daredevil never existed. Never existed. Out of sight, out of mind. Completely. Just never existed. Like, 100%. That Daredevil is from a different universe. Daredevil's not from the Netflix universe or the MCU. It's some random Daredevil. Like, it's just, I can't with that show. You're telling me that every other series recently has gotten 6 episodes and could have benefited by having the 9-episode format, but instead, She-Hulk is allowed to get 9 episodes. That's ridiculous. And honestly, like, no one's gonna watch this video. No one's gonna listen to this. Of course, somehow it does get popular. I don't know why it would get popular, but it's not impossible. But, like, God forbid, Jesus Christ, never do something like She-Hulk again. Never do that again. Please, God, don't do that again. Learn from your mistakes, because that was terrible. And it's not even like, and it was not a budgeting issue, though I'm sure that didn't help either. It was not a budgeting issue. It was terribly written, and you did a horrible job that way. Do better. That's all I was saying. Just do better. Don't do something like She-Hulk again. God forbid Daredevil Born Again better be good, because God forbid we'll riot. We will riot. Do not ruin Daredevil. Netflix Daredevil, I should say specifically too. Now that we know it's Netflix Daredevil, do not ruin it. That is it. That is all. That is my rant. I could go on for days about She-Hulk, but I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just, it could have been better. It should have been better, and it wasn't. And it shouldn't have had 9 episodes when other series could have thrived with 9 episodes that way. And God forbid, don't do 5 episodes either. Don't do, like, if a series needs more time to wrap up its story, just give it the time it needs to wrap up its story. Just period. If someone says, hey, I need, like, 7 episodes instead of 6 or something, even, like, there's one more episode, just give it to them. Doesn't matter have 7 episodes. What's so wrong about 7 episodes? Someone wants 9 episodes, give them 9 episodes. If someone even wants less, if they think they can do less than, and it can be done, they give them less episodes, but, just don't just think that it's gonna be enough, because that's stupid. And stop dropping things on the same day, too. I know what you're doing, Disney. I know what you're doing. You're tired of critics, and I get it. Critics can be, critical. That way, they're not exactly good at their job sometimes. They sometimes are gonna bash things as they want to, because it gives them hard on, I guess, sometimes in life. That's right, I said it. But also, like, don't punish the people who are actually, like reviewing it properly. That's just not cool. Anyway, that's it. That's my, sorry, I went away from my, hello. I wouldn't make from micro. I apologize, but yeah, no, that's just my take. Man, I have one more topic I want to share, a bit before ending this all off. That way. Sorry, I am reading ethics. That way. So, yeah, one more thing I want to talk about, and I know everyone has been hearing about it, and let me make sure my computer doesn't die. There you go. But everyone's been talking about it, which is the YouTubers quitting situation. I want to talk about this one just because I wanted to leave it off at the end just because it's a little bit of a serious topic. And I've been thinking about this for a couple days, and I wanted to do a stream immediately hearing about a lot of the situation, but I just decided I wanted to save it as it's a little thing right now. Because I had a couple things I want to talk about, so it would fill up a stream. But yeah, so yeah, YouTubers quitting. First of all, I'm gonna put this out here. I'm not quitting. I like how every thumbnail is I'm not quitting, but I want to talk about it. So I am not quitting. I am not quitting YouTube anytime soon. I am still full wanting to do this that way as a hobby, and I'm still enjoying it. So that's that. I would have put that out there. I'm not quitting. So you can put that as a quote for me somewhere. I am not quitting YouTube anytime soon. So there's that. So you have no worries about that. However, I do want to talk about it because it is an interesting situation. A lot of YouTubers, as I stated, have been quitting this year. MatPat is the one that I think is getting the most attention. If you don't know who MatPat is, living under a rock? No. But long story short, MatPat is known as the game theorist. It is the meme of, that's just a theory, a game theory that we were joking last stream. Saying that way. But he is after I think 13 years, I think. I saw somewhere, I've not watched the video 100%, which is my bad, on my part, even though I'm going to be talking about this, but I watched some YouTubers talking about it, so there's that. But yeah, he's been doing YouTube for a hella long time, which is, crazy to me. I do remember watching him. I kind of stepped away from him for a while, just his content changed, and I changed, and I just wasn't, into it as much anymore. I think when I got, to, my later teens, that way. But I used to watch him a lot. When he first started, I remember one of the first videos I really enjoyed watching was his Legend of Zelda timeline theory. That way, that was interesting and cool. I always like that, the videos that way. But yeah, he looks at games. He looks at games. He looks at other things too, like food theory and movie theory and all that. But yeah, but he's retiring essentially right now is the best word. He's not gonna be gone. He said he's gonna be make appearances here and there on other channels and stuff like that, and even in some of the the other videos that the people who are part of the Game Theorist channels now, all that he'll be his special guest appearances that way. But he wants to spend time with his family. He has a family, man. He's a family guy. Okay, maybe that's stupid saying it that way. But he's a family man. He has a family. He wants to spend time with his family, and honestly, good for him. Tom Scott said he's backing up from YouTube, which, again, he's an animator, and also, does skits back in the day, and I think he mostly did, vlogs and stuff like that now, that way, and just other little videos that way. There's, there's quite a bit of YouTubers, like I said, they're taking a step back right now, and it's a whole discussion kind of thing of, obviously, hope everything, endeavors go well, and I really mean that, and as well as some other, obviously the other YouTubers is that I hope everything goes well for them, and hopefully that, yeah, they have, be able to take the time they need to step back and, enjoy their family life or just personal life that way. A lot of YouTubers obviously, yeah, either retired or have taken a step back from the content a bit, uploading whenever they want to upload and uploading whatever they want to upload kind of thing, which has always been my mindset with YouTube. I've always been that kind of person of, if I need to step away, I'll step away, and I have no shame of doing it. I mean, obviously I have no career in this, so I can't say for people who do make money off of this, because, which I'll get into what's the issue about that later, but I've always had that mindset. I've always had that thing of if I'm feeling burnt out, I want to walk away for a bit, so that way I don't get bitter about what I do with YouTube. Because there was a point in time where I was feeling bitter about it. And especially because I was a teen. I had just turned 18. I was going through a lot at that time. And then, of course, around the time I, was starting to step away from YouTube, COVID happened and the pandemic happened. So that was not good on my mental health either. So, yeah, it took at least after that whole year before I kind of wanted to get back in again. And I've been consistent, at least not that way. Of course, I'll back away when I need to. If I starting to feel if I start feeling the burnout stage, I'm saying like, hey, you're not gonna see me for like a week or two, yo. You're not gonna see me for like a couple weeks, at least like 2 weeks at most. I'll take a break. That way, if I start feeling burnout, that's just how I've been that way nowadays. That way, and I make the content I want to make because I like being creative. I don't like being creatively restricted that way. But yeah, so the thing is, and here's the problem with that. My thing is fine if I'm a hobby. It's a hobby, because I do this as a hobby. I don't do this as a career. However, if a person who is in the mindset of making money off of YouTube tries doing that, they're screwed. Because at least, unless of course they're not people who've done this, the grind, quote unquote, for years, like Jacksepticeye, Matt Pat, all that. Like, they can take a step back now because they've made a lot of money, but it's because of that grind is why I think a lot of YouTubers are taking a step back right now after like full decade of doing YouTube. I mean, like, this has been going on for a while. Like I said, Jacksepticeye has been like kind of taking a step back from YouTube since like I think the pandemic era. Like, that's pretty much when a lot of YouTubers started kind of backing away. It was like around the time the pandemic started, they kind of started to be like, okay, I need to back away, I need to stop. I think the one that like comes to mind the biggest to me, that like at least from the pandemic era affected, was Jenna Marbles. I think the thing is, like, at that time when she like backed away, she was doing YouTube for like a decade at that point, like well over a decade. Like, she was doing YouTube for a while at least, so it's like she definitely had felt the like system like breaking down with her completely, and she felt like she had to back away, which I'm glad she was able to do that and has been doing better. And there is no pressure for you to come back, Jenna. If you think you can't get back to YouTube, don't do it. Please don't. You're doing fine and lovely by just being happy and healthy. And I want to put that out there because I know a lot of people are like, I miss Jenna, and it's like, I miss Jenna too, but I want to make a point. And there's no one saying that like she needs to come back. She has to come back now. It's been almost 4 years, please, kind of thing. But no, I want to make it like clear that like, yeah, I'm happy that she's happy, and that is what's more important to me at the end of the day for anyone, is that they're happy and healthy and doing well in life. I'd rather not them push themselves just because they want to make us happy, because that we're not the number one priority in life, So, but like the grind of YouTube is just so hard, man. The thing is, recently for my class, my film editing class, we had to look at YouTube because YouTube is now becoming a career. Like I said, it's a career thing and people are doing it, and that's what people might learn editing for, is for, doing videos. I did it because it's a requirement, but that's not the point. I edit all the time too. But, one of the things that they mention 9 times out of 10 with a lot of the recommendations of how when you start a YouTube channel, it's so... I hate it. Like, every time I read a lot of, like, the guide of, like, what you can do to start a YouTube channel, it felt so stiff, man. Like, it just made me sad because I remember the days where people could just start a channel and just, like, do it because it was fun. Like, they did, like, they had the bad thumbnails and bad, video, like, their, like, bad, icon and, all that, their banner was, like, made with MS Paint, like, that's how I started, Like, I remember people just starting that way, and it was fine, and people loved it, and was, like, having a great time, but now it feels too professional to me. Like, it's too, like, company-sounding based, the way they, like, were wording everything, like, how you have to have a clean, YouTube banner, your, profile picture has to look nice, your thumbnails, have to be sparkly perfect, which, I mean, thumbnails I kind of get, but, like, even the page itself had to, like, kind of look like a certain way. And, like, it kind of, like, expected you to, like, having to start at a point where, like, you have to have, like, not a bit of money, but, like, like it kind of started like having the thing where like a lot of back in the day where YouTubers are contradicting, where like, hey, you don't need a fancy camera to start YouTube. Hey, you don't need a fancy microphone. Hey, you can build up on your own. But it's like it makes it seem like you have to have at least something first, and it's like, I don't know, it sucks to me. It just feels so, like I said, stiff to me. Like it feels like too much of like a business thing versus just something to have fun with. And mentioning how you should find your niche, and then you have to stay consistent with that niche, and you can't really go outside of your niche, because if you go outside of your niche, you're gonna lose viewership. And it's like, see, that sucks, because it's like, it's one thing to, again, start, YouTube and like have an idea, right? And that's fine, you will like that idea for a long period of time, but then there's a point where you get tired of doing it consistently all the time, and you want to change, but then you get punished for changing because you're tired of like one format. Like, that's ridiculous. That's so stupid. That's not fair. In my opinion, like, that's just not fair to me. And God forbid the algorithm. The algorithm is just insane in itself of how very, 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 very biased it is. I mean, like, you can try your hardest on YouTube for years, but like, you may not get anywhere if you don't like fall in line with this like stupid system. It's a bad system. I mean, I get it helps to work out the people who do deserve it, but also sometimes people who deserve it still don't get it, Man, like, some people can, like, barely live off, like, some people can get to a point where they can, like, live off of YouTube, but, like, if there's a time where, like, the lights go off, they're screwed, like, for some reason, like, videos get purged by, like, the system, because the system is broken of how it, looks like copyright and, like, all all that jazz, the automated system. Make sure you're not making bad, content, that you're not making inappropriate things. Just flags videos because it can, because for some reason it thought you said something inappropriate when the reality is you didn't. Or if you did, it won't tell you which thing you said, that you can fix. It doesn't even tell you specifically what you did wrong. And there's no way of, like, getting help, because there's no real person that, like, will actually take time to sit down and watch your video and make sure that it's actually fine. And make sure it doesn't get flagged again, because that has happened before to many people, where they finally get a video fixed, and oh yeah, next week it get flagged again. And it's like, what's the point? And some people take so much time and money to make videos that, like, if they get flagged, and demonetized, it's like, they lost, like, tons of money. And it's not even their fault. And it's unfair. Like, the system is unfair because for some reason, again, it doesn't understand how to fix its system. And I feel like it's a shame that, like, and I apologize, I can't remember his name on top of my head, but, like, Jacksepticeye's editor talked about this, and what kind of made me want to talk about this specifically was saying that, like, people, may be, like, ashamed, maybe YouTube's ashamed that it doesn't understand how its system works, but it's like, I'd rather the honesty than, like, lie and not get back to me that something's wrong, kind of thing. Like, I'm gonna say this because, I want to just say this specifically, because it's like, I understand when I get, the copyright flag, kind of thing, as long as I'm able to keep my video up, it's fine. But this one time, recently, when I've done my Christmas videos, I had something happen, and I did nothing about it because I had no way of proving it, because it was that sketchy. But pretty much, it was my demo video. It was my PlayStation, 2 demo video, the recent issue I did, where I got, like, copyrighted, but, like, I was able to keep it on YouTube, obviously, but I got copyrighted, and it was a section of the video that was just the menu music, right? And I'd say, sure, if it was Sony or something copywriting me, I'd say 100% fantastic, whatever, fine, I don't care, that makes sense. But it wasn't Sony, and I never had this issue before, ever. Like, ever. I've never had the issue with, being copyrighted with the music, the menu music, for any of the demo ones. Any of them I touched. Especially the recent ones. That way. From the last, like, like 90, like, from 90-something to, like, 100-something recent demos I've been doing. Like, they have, like, not an issue about them. And I've been very careful about, like, trying not to have the music, from other games in the background, whatever, but some reason this one got flagged, and I was like, okay, what's up? Why does this one get flagged? That's kind of weird. I've never had flagged before, and I looked at, the section I got, and I was like, that's a pretty short section. Like, I'm talking about, like, maybe 30 seconds, I think, maybe? And I was like, what is it target? Like, what is it trying to grab here? And I looked into it, and supposedly this company, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get sued, because I've heard this company's very touchy, kind of like bassy thing, like, which it's not even, like, here's the thing, I've not even bought music from this company. It's not even music I've used from this company. I've never even heard of this company before, right? Which is why, again, I'm not saying anything because, again, I don't want to get sued. I'm not going to say anything that way, but, like, this is some random music company, that you're allowed to get, like, licensed quote-unquote music from, copy, royalty-free music, right? But apparently people have been complaints about it in the past that, like, it copyrights anyway, even if you have the link in the description of where you got the music from and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I didn't even use this person's music. This is just a Sony old PlayStation, Sony, like, demo music back in 2000s. Like, what? This is Sony's music, if anything else. And it, like, for some reason, it was claiming as this person's music. And, like, I almost wanted to, like, fight and dispute it. The problem is I couldn't, for the life of me, find what song it was at all. Like, I couldn't even find, like, what song it was and be able to say, hey, yo, what is this? This is not even close, I can tell you it's not even close anyway, just because, again, this is PlayStation's music, not whoever this person was, his music at all. And I know I'm not going to get it fixed either way, and I think that's what made me decide not to, because it's like, even if I had evidence, even if I had proof, they're not going to touch it, they're not going to dispute it, they're not going to look at it and be like, oh, yeah, you're right, this isn't that. Get out of here, They wouldn't do it. That's the problem. Even if I had proof and evidence to say, hey, I did not take this person's music, this is not, their music. This is, like, not close to their music, I couldn't, like, even if I had evidence to prove that, hey, yo, what's going on here? This is not right, They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do anything. I would have to complain on Twitter, or X or whatever. I don't even have that because I don't want to be on the Tuxa website, So, like, yeah, like, that's the problem. Even if I had proof, even if I had, like, a way to show that it is still not even, that point, I feel like I don't even need proof, taking 1 second look at it and be like, who is this person? This is not even, like, close, get out of here. Like, would not have done anything. So, yeah, the grind, the system of it you're being flagged constantly, you don't even know what you're gonna get flagged for, and get demonetized for something and lose money, the having to hope that you get, pushed by YouTube that way, but the algorithm, like, a ton of it's gonna get tiring quickly. Like, even guaranteeing, like, if you decided to start YouTube and do everything right, make the good, thumbnails, make the good profile picture and banner, edit perfectly fine, where, like, your professional level editing and have a professional microphone and professional setup that way, and consistently upload, like, a couple of times a week, for the month, and, like, blah, 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 like, everything, like, if you do everything to a T, I guarantee you still wouldn't be pushed by the system. I guarantee it, because something or another, like, even if you're, like, squeaky clean too, let's just say you don't even curse in your, like, videos, you don't play anything controversial, like, nothing. You're just a normal gamer that plays, Sonic or something, or Crash Bandicoot or something like that, like, you just do like, that kind of gaming, like, I guarantee you're still not gonna get pushed by the system. It is pure and utter gambling of luck, and that is not fair. You should not have to gamble with a system and hope and pray that it will, like, push you to the top by tiring yourself out to the point where, like, it's, like, again, like I said, that, Jacksepticeye editor literally said this as dehumanizing at this point. You're literally expected to be a machine that doesn't work. You're a cog in a machine that doesn't work. And it's unfair, and it's wrong, and it's horrible to me, and I hate it so much that YouTube has still not fixed any of these issues. And I get it's one of those, how do you fix the issues if you're not going to give suggestions and stuff like that. Hundreds of YouTubers have given suggestions on how to fix the system, and they still haven't, like, bothered to look into them. The problem is, YouTube has just become a complete and utter company. That's it. That's plain and simple. It has become a company, and it will treat you like you are just an office worker. It doesn't care, unless, of course, you're making them tons of money. If you're not making them tons of money, they don't care about you. They don't think you don't matter. You're not special to them. You're not, Mr. Beast. You're not, anyone who's going to make them a ton of money. If you don't make them a ton of money, they don't care. That's it. Plain and simple at the end of the day. And, you know, this is why I only do YouTube as a hobby. I don't want it until there's a time where I feel like YouTube can be a sustainable career. I don't want it. I don't want it. And I know I'm saying this as an artist, you know, because it's like wanting to do animation. That's not a sustainable career either. But at least, you know, there's more chance to get into the business, you know? Versus YouTube, there really isn't. It's all a game of luck, and it's not fair. And until that changes, like, there's no point for you to do it as a career. Don't do YouTube as a career. Unless, of course, you are ready for heartbreak. You have to have actual tough skin for YouTube. It's not even just the commenter saying you suck, or getting most dislikes, or not being, you know, getting a lot of views. It's just YouTube pushing you down that's gonna make you more depressed than anything else, and it's not worth it unless, of course, you're ready to just push it completely and just like hope for the best. You know, go for it. But like, you know, I'm putting this out there and I'm being honest. It is not a sustainable job. Don't do YouTube unless, of course, you're ready to, like, you know, get to be heartbroken by the fact that you're not gonna get pushed right away, or if at all. You know, some people get lucky and some people do get it right away. Other times people take years. Sometimes people never make it. You know, and I want to be completely and utterly honest because I feel like we need more honesty about that on this platform. You know, I don't want people going into this thinking that it's going to be easy and not, like, you know, hard at all and that anyone can do it. Because the reality is, sure, anyone can do it, quote unquote, but that doesn't mean everyone's going to make it. That's the thing. So, yeah, no, that is going to be my thing, and I'm going to make that point out here, is that, like, I'm not doing YouTube as a career because I don't think it's a good idea to make it as a career of mine. I'm doing this as a hobby because I like it as a hobby, because it's much more fun as a hobby, because I get to do what I want. I get to have whatever creative control I have, you know, on my videos. I don't care if I get copywritten, you know, by stupid little claims like that, because the reality is I'm not making money. So, you know, it doesn't affect me as long as my video can stay up and running and people can view it. Like, that's all that matters to me at the end of the day. You know, I want to show my creativeness out there in the world. I have ideas that I want to share, and I'm going to share them. And I don't care if I'm not going to make money, because that makes it, you know, less restrictive to me. So, that's my point. So, I don't know. Again, this is never going to make it out there into the world, really. No one's really going to see this, you know, not like a big celebrity or something. Unless, of course, they do, then that's shocking. But, you know, I'm just being completely and 100% honest. Because I want to be, because this is an actual issue and nothing's going to be done about it. So, you know, I can complain all I want and it's just going to be to the wind and never go anywhere. So, there's that. So, and my throat is starting to hurt. I should have brought water with me to do this, but it's fine. It's fine. Because I forgot to wrap up. So, excuse me. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap up here. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about. So, we talked a lot today, guys. We talked a lot. At least I said things. You just sat there and listened, which is okay. I think that's fine. But with that, quickly going over my updates, we're just gonna go for small updates. So for the most part, I believe Marvel Nemesis Rising Perfect should be out in February. Again, I don't know when. I'll let you know. Obviously, I'll give you updates, the deets, and all that about that. But Marvel Nemesis Rising Perfect is the first Let's Play I'm gonna be doing, so look out for that update. And when I say that's gonna be coming out, I will be probably streaming Crash next weekend that way, and that'll probably be most of February. I will be streaming Crash until I finish it. Next time after that, I'm going to be doing Last of Us, which I'm doing a lot of Naughty Dog apparently recently, which is I just noticed. Anyway, I'm going to be doing Last of Us Part 1 series that way, and then I'm going to be obviously alongside it, because I have to have some other content besides that. Excuse me, is Goodbye Volcano High. So there's that. That is all I got for you that way. So just look out for those things. And yeah. But with that, my God, my throat is completely hurting right now, so I really need to just back away for a little bit, just get some water. So I hope you all enjoyed this stream. If you like it, if you dislike it, comment below what you thought. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So bye, guys.